Hi there, it's Bruce Wallace from Dundee and Victoria Chess Club in Bonnie, Scotland, and I'm going to bring you another classic game by Alexander Alekhine, probably his most classic game, and here he is playing Richard Reti, who has white, and the game took place at Baden-Baden in 1925, and this game is memorable particularly for Alekhine's amazing 26 move. So let's kick off. Reti plays g3 and will rapidly move through the opening. e5, knight f3, e4, knight d4, d5, d3, e takes d, queen takes d3, knight f6, bishop g2, bishop b4 check, bishop d2, bishop takes d2 check, knight takes, castles, c4, knight a6, c takes d, knight b4, queen c4, knight b takes d5, knight 2 to b3, c6, castles, rook e8, rook f to d1, bishop g4, rook d2, queen c8, knight c5, bishop h3. Now here, Reti played bishop f3, and Alekhine played bishop g4, bishop g2, bishop h3, bishop f3, bishop g4, and Alekhine is offering a draw here with threefold repetition of moves. White really can't take the bishop after bishop h3. Quickly go through it. It's with advantage to black. The knight can't take the pawn on b7 because of knight g4 with mating threats. Knight f3, and then temporary sacrifice of the knight. F takes e3, knight takes, queen takes f7, king h8, knight h4, and rook f8, and black is winning in this position. So Reti can't allow that exchange to take place. So after bishop f3 and bishop g4 and the repeat of moves, Reti moves the bishop to h1, which is good actually because it does allow the game to continue and for Alekhine to show us a brilliancy. Alekhine then inaugurates an immediate assault on White's king position. Reti counters on the queen side with b4. Some more moves now. a6, rook c1, h4, beginning to undermine the castle position. a4, pawn takes, h takes. Now queen c7, targeting the g3 pawn, which is important in the combination that Alekhine unleashes. Then we have b5, pawn takes, and at this point Alekhine comes up with his stunning move. Now my computer, after having had a look at this game for several minutes and on more than one occasion, does not come up with Alekhine's move. And this is perhaps because there is a potential refutation, but when it's played it has a devastating effect on Reti. Can you see it? If you know the game you will, but pause the video, I'll count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Alekhine plays the stunning move rook e3, offering the rook for sacrifice on e3. Now there's so many lines here that the complications are mind-boggling and I can't show you all of them. But can White take? The answer is no. If f takes, it's queen g3 check, bishop g2, knight takes e3 attacking the queen, and it's mate in 2. So that line can't be considered by White. What about a line beginning with, say, bishop g2 ignoring the rook? We have a combination beginning with the rook sacrifice. Rook takes g3, f takes, knight e3 attacking the queen. The queen goes to d3, it's queen takes g3 with massive advantage to black. White either gives up his queen by taking the knight or it's mate in 2. So that, following rook e3, it can't be considered. What about another line beginning with bishop g2? You have bishop g2, and again rook sacrifice on g3, And then instead of taking the rook, white plays e3. Then it's queen e5, queen d3, rook takes g2, king takes g2, b6 attacking the knight, knight moves, c5 attacking the other knight, knight f3, and then queen h5 threatening to come in with checks, making it very uncomfortable for white, and in this position black has a massive advantage. So that isn't a line that white can consider. What about a line beginning with king h2? The reply here is also crushing. It's rook a3, pawn takes rook, knight takes attacking the queen, and the queen doesn't have many squares. I think it's only got one square here. And then knight f1 check, and this is depending on what white moves, and obviously he has the option of taking the knight or of moving the king. They all lead to mate. So king h2 is not an option. Is there a saving line for white? Well, apparently there is a couple of lines. Not bishop g2, but bishop f3. Bishop takes, e takes, pawn takes, knight takes the pawn, queen a5, and according to Alekhine this is with advantage. However, lines can be deceiving. White can gain an advantage here with rook takes knight, and Alekhine proposes rook e1 check here, but after rook takes, queen takes, king g2, rook a1, in fact this is a massive advantage to white, because white begins a combination beginning with rook d8 check, king h7, queen h4 check, king g6, f4, and there's nearly a 4-pawn advantage to black. So bishop f3 was definitely the only defensive move in this position for white. Unfortunately for Reti, he didn't play that. He played another continuation, not some that we've looked at. He played knight f3. And Alekhine, according to Kasparov, in the book My Great Predecessors, now begins a typhoon which sweeps most of the pieces off the board, with c takes b5 attacking the queen, queen takes b5, knight c3, queen takes pawn, queen takes, knight takes, and now all of Alekhine's pieces converge on the king, beginning with knight takes h2 check, king h2, knight e4, rook c4, knight takes pawn, bishop g2, and Alekhine plays bishop e6. Now, according to Shredder, there's a simpler win for black here with knight e4, and then if the rook moves, knight takes g3, and black is 2 pawns up and should win the endgame easily. However, after bishop g2, Alekhine plays bishop e6, and then white doubles rooks, and now black begins another combination which eventually leads to the win of a piece. Knight g4 check, king h3, knight e5 discover check, king h2, then rook takes knight, rook takes knight, knight g4 check, king steps out with king h3, knight e3 check, king h2, knight takes rook, bishop takes rook, knight d4, and there's a combination in mind here. In order to save the exchange here, white needs to move the rook defending the bishop, and once the bishop is exchanged, rook takes, bishop d5 skewers knight and rook, winning a piece. So a tremendous game by Alekhine with mind-boggling combinations, which were inaugurated with the fantastic move rook e3, which the computer didn't consider, and although there appeared to be, if not a saving move, at least a move which allowed white to stay in the game, but could have led to even greater complications, facing a move like that over the board, even for the greatest masters, can pose all sorts of difficulties, and it was just a mark of Alekhine's combinative genius, which brought about combinations leading to this classic win. Hope you enjoyed that, and see you soon.